What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to give you guys a look at my actual net worth calculator and what I use to personally track my investments and to personally track my net worth. Now, I also want to make this, I always want to call it a Microsoft Excel sheet because I'm so used to using Excel for work, but it's a Google sheet. So I want to make this Google sheet available for you guys too. Now, if you guys watch Humphrey Yang on YouTube, this Google Sheet might look a little similar because it's basically a copy of his. There's really only two main things that I personally changed, and I'll walk you through that as well. But let's start with the video. So I don't want to hold you guys hostage here. If you know what net worth is and you can look at this and you understand how it works, that's awesome. The way you access this net worth and investment calculator is if you look in the description, I'm going to have a link to it. When you open the link, you're going to see this pop up. You will not be able to edit any of the numbers because it is locked. So all you need to do is go to File up here and click Make a Copy. That is all you need to do. Once it makes a copy, you will be able to edit it and rename it and save it to your own Google Sheets. At that moment, it's completely yours, right? Now, I've been using this Google Sheet for the past year. I find it super easy to use. Very clean, very user-friendly. And as you can see in this top bar up here, I use this as my personal one. So to start with, if you're new to net worth and you don't understand what it is or how to calculate it, your net worth is your total assets minus your total liabilities. So as we can see here with this net worth calculator, you're going to have assets up here in the green, and we're going to have liabilities down here in the yellow. So as you can see, the first thing I changed from Humphreys is I actually changed this to a yearly cadence. So you can see we go 2024, 2025, and 2026, etc. I personally like tracking my net worth on a yearly cadence. That way, when I look at the graph here, I can see a year-over-year comparison. I personally don't like tracking it on a quarterly basis. In my opinion, for me personally, tracking my net worth on a quarterly basis makes me too involved into it. And my net worth is one of those things that I don't want to keep looking at because I don't want to be affected emotionally. If it goes down a little bit, if it goes up a little bit, I don't want my emotions to change surrounding investing, surrounding my money. So for me, I like to track this on a yearly basis. Now, when I got this Google spreadsheet from Humphrey, he does this on a quarterly basis. So his will be set up like 2024 Q1, 2024 Q2, 2024 Q3. If that's something you'd like to do, all you have to do is just edit this bar up here and change it to your liking. Now, the next thing that I personally added to make this also kind of like an investment calculator is I added this over here. So this is not on Humphrey's actual Google Sheet. I personally added this. You do not have to use this if you don't want to, but me, I like using this so I have a little bit more in-depth knowledge of where my money is and what I'm actually invested into. So you can see here, we have our Fidelity 401k. Maybe you dabble in cryptocurrency. You also got your Roth IRA set up through Fidelity as well. Obviously, you can change this. I know not everyone buys crypto. I know not everyone uses Fidelity. But as you can see here, for these total columns that we got right here, you can see that they are bolded and they correspond to the correct cell over here. So what I mean by that is if you click into this formula, we can see that this is going to take all of our numbers here, and it's going to give us the sum, which is $186,166, and that's going to directly correspond right here. So we can see that this cell references this total. Now, if you invest into more, let's say you have 10 cryptocurrencies, let's say you have individual stocks, you'll obviously have to expand this out for yourself, and that will throw off the formulas a little bit. So you might want a little bit of Google Sheet knowledge before you start messing with this, because that can throw off your numbers over here because it will throw off the formulas, and you want to make sure you're accurately tracking your net worth. So that's my only warning for this over here. Now, this is not my actual net worth. These are just placeholder numbers. I wish this was my net worth, but it is not. So First things first, when you're editing your net worth, you want to make sure that you have your assets and all your assets recorded properly. So we can see here, you might have a couple checking accounts, you might have a high yield savings. This might be your mortgage. You might have some car equity to put on here. You might not own any crypto, so this you can change as needed. But once again, these are going to be our total assets, right? And that'll give us, you can see that this formula references these columns right here. So this will give us the sum of everything that looks nice and neat. Now, next we're going to put our liabilities, right? So let's say we have, $3,000 of credit card debt, so that's going to add into it. And once again, this formula is going to reference this. So we can see we have our mortgage, our auto loan, our student loan, personal loan, and credit cards. So like for me, for example, I don't have a mortgage. I don't have student loans. I don't have a personal loan, but I have 3 credit cards. So mine looks a little bit different than this, and I can always add as needed. But like I said, this number right here is going to pull from this column. And then we have our total net worth right here. So this is going to show us our total assets minus our total liabilities. So we can see that right there. And that will give us our net worth. Now, right over here, we just have our net worth kind of expanded out into a little bit of a different view. So you can see it once again, a year-over-year basis. So we can see per this example, looks like we're up about $46,000 in net worth from 2024 to 2025. So if that was my actual numbers, I'd be ecstatic right now. And then last but not least here, there is a little chart or graph, whatever you want to call it, that shows a little data visualization. Now, if you're handy with Google Sheets, and you know how to use some of this stuff, you can obviously change the colors, you can change the view, you can make it look however you want to make it look. You can come over here, change the font, do whatever you would like to do. But once again, I like to keep my net worth very simple, not cluttered, just super easy to look at. And then once again, this column down here, this will show us our total investments. This obviously will pull from those total columns. As you can see here, it gives us the sum. And yeah, that's it. It's a very, very clean, very basic net worth calculator. So if you guys would like to use this, like I said, I'm going to put the link to it in the description below. All you need to do is click the link, go to File, make a copy, and it is yours to play around with. And like I said, I use this for my personal net worth. I've been using this for the past year now. I find it very intuitive, very easy to use. And if you guys use it and you like it, let me know. If you guys need any help or have any questions for it, drop a comment and I'll definitely see if I can help you guys out. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you're able to use some of this to your advantage, and I hope you guys have a good day. See ya.